In this video, I'm going to unbox the 70mai Dash Cam, which is the A510 model. This particular one is 2.7K, not the 4K version. So this is a quick look at the box. You can see up in the top right hand corner, it uses the Stavis 2 sensor, which improves low light video quality. So you can see quite a nice box. So this cost me just under £100 from Amazon. It's normally around £125, but if you wait around, they usually come on discount for around £100. So this is a dual dash cam. The front one is 2.7K and the rear is 1080p. So let's have a look inside the box. There we go. So in the top section we get the envelope with the documentation inside. So we get some of these stickers which we put on the windshield. So these are basically static stickers which you put on. You can peel them off very easily. So you get 2 for the front just in case you make a mistake. So 2 for the front and also 2 for the rear. So you don't have to use these, but they make it a lot easier if you need to take it off and reposition the camera. So you get the manual, which I think is in multiple languages. So I think the first section is in English and some other languages as well. So I'll put that to one side. You do get I think a 64GB micro SD card. I would recommend using a slightly bigger one, perhaps 128, or I think it goes up to 256. This one, it can take up to 256GB. So if you want to go a bit bigger, get a bigger one. Not too much these days. And let's have a look inside. Again, you get some QR codes you can scan with your phone to set up a little bit easier, and another manual for the rear camera. The rear camera is nothing special, to be honest. It's not difficult to set up. So you get 2 sticky pads, one for the front and one for the rear. There's already sticky pads on the camera, so you get 4 in total. So again, if you make a mistake and you need to reposition it, you get 2 sticky pads, and you get these 24-hour surveillance stickers which you can put on. Obviously it only will work in 24-hour mode if it's hardwired into the car itself. So that's all the documentation and the sticky pads in there. So let's put that to one side. Let's have a look at the camera itself. So let's have a look at the rear camera first. So the rear camera, as you can see, quite small, fits in my hand, not much bigger than my fingers. So it's quite a lightweight. It does feel a little bit cheap, to be honest. And obviously you connect the other cable to the end of this. So the cable is nice and thin. I do like a thin cable as it makes installation a lot easier. So nothing special, the rear camera. Again, this is only 1080p. So let's put that to one side. So this is the main camera. So this is actually the screen. You peel off the screen protector, just like that. Put that back on for now. So you can see the main camera. Quite a nice design. So this, obviously, it's got no way to angle it left or right, or tilt it I should say. The only way you can adjust it is by twisting the lens section itself. So ideally you need to place this near enough in the center of your car. You know, if it's on the one side, it's going to be angled slightly out because the windscreen is curved. So ideally it needs to go close to the middle of the windscreen, and then you can just adjust it so it stick that way. Then you can adjust the lens how you please. So nice compact design, again not too big. You can see it fits in my hand quite easily. The buttons are on the bottom. You get 4 buttons, and also another button here. I think that's to turn the screen off, I believe. And you get some vents for cooling. So a nice little camera. Again, it's not too heavy, feels a lot better quality compared to the rear camera. As you can see from different angles. You also get a LED light there which turns green, which indicates that is recording. That little hole there I presume is for the audio. Again, I think this may just be a vent. So you get some branding here. So again, not a nice compact camera, not too big. Obviously, because the lens sticks out, it may not be suitable for all cars, as you need to kind of position it in the middle. But I do prefer these kind of ones which you stick directly to the windscreen, as they are a lot more robust, you know, and you never accidentally knock them out of alignment and so on. So there's the camera. So let's have a look at the ports on the side. So this is USB-C, so the USB-C is in the center. That's a micro SD card slot, and this is the other cable for the rear camera. I'm not sure what cable that is. It says on it somewhere. Can't quite read it, but obviously the cable is included. Personally, I would have preferred if these were on the top, because the cables stick out from the side, which again kind of limits how you can kind of position the camera. But you need to slide the camera upwards to get out of his mount. So again, there's no kind of ideal position, but probably having the cables on this side or the ports on the left side would have probably been better in my opinion. But again, it's going to be down to your car how well it fits in position and so on. So let's put that to one side, rest of the box. So we get the mount. Again, it has a sticky pad already in place, so the camera slots into there. Let's move the lens out of the way so we don't scratch it. So that's locked in place like that. So when you want to get it, once this is stuck on the windscreen, you push it upwards to remove it from its mount if you need to remove it. So the static pads which I showed you earlier, so you basically, you can see there's markings where you place the sticky pad. So I would ideally put this on first. So it shows you this is the, I think this is the front. So you have to peel that off, and then you stick it to your windscreen. But I would stick this in place first. It shows you the markings there, and then you can then place that onto your windscreen. Again, if you do go wrong, it does give you a spare one. I have found in the past that you usually get around 2 goes of these, you get it wrong. But I think you'd be pushing your luck if you try a third time. But if you do put it up once, it may stick back on, but it may not. So you may need to use another one, as well as a sticky pad. But so let's have a look at the rest of the box. So you get your little plastic tool to poke the cable in all the nooks and crannies and pull back some of the trimming. It's okay for what it is. Personally, you may need to buy, again it depends on your car, but you may need to buy another tool set, which is not too much, around £7-8 for some decent plastic tools. So you get that, and this is one of the cables. So this is the rear cable. So you can see this one obviously connects to the end of the rear camera. A lot of rear cameras just have a solid cable, but this one is obviously split towards the end, which some people may like and some others may not. So you can see it's got 4 little pins inside there, and don't worry about damaging it, because there's a little groove here which shows you have to slide it in, and that goes in place like that. The only thing with this section here is quite bulky, so trying to hide that under your rubber seals in the car in the boot section is quite difficult. So let's just disconnect that for now. So you can see the part which goes into the main camera is at an angle, so I think you put it up this way so it's tilting upwards. Yeah, just double check. So once it's on the windscreen, it'd be like that. So it does stick out quite a long way. So again, if your central mirror has lots of plastic housing around it to hide other things, this can kind of get in the way. So you may have to position it slightly to the left, or perhaps the right, whatever side you're using it on. So let's unplug that a minute. So that's a rear cable, so it's quite a long cable. I have used it before. Ideally, I would always say it could do with maybe another foot or 2 foot, just to give you a little bit more breathing space. But I've fitted this to a VW Polo, which is kind of a small to medium-sized car, and it just about fitted. But I could do with another foot or 2, ideally. And I think this is the last bit. I'll just show you this. This is the power point which you put into your cigarette lighter. So this is USB-A, and the final part is the power cable itself. So again, this is USB-C to USB-A, so the USB-A goes into the charger. That then goes into your cigarette lighter, or a 12-volt power port, as they call them these days. It's quite nice and compact, so it doesn't stick out too far. So I probably found when I did stick it in, it sticks out about that much, so maybe half an inch at best. If you do have a USB-A port in your car, you can also plug that in. You can also use a USB-C cable, but you need to use an adapter, which I've already made a video on. So if you do use USB-C cable, you have to use an adapter. I'll put the link in the description for that video, which is not too difficult. Again, this cable could do another extra foot, maybe 2 foot, but it does reach the central position of my car, no problem. So I think that's it. So let's just plug in the cables on the camera itself. So the USB-C cable goes in there, the rear cable is angled upwards. Let's push them in. So that's how it should look in your car. So obviously that's the sticker that sticks on the windscreen. This is the screen. Let's pull that off. Obviously it's not powered on. So that's how it kind of looks. So all the cables will be obviously going upwards like that. So of course these stick out probably at least an inch, I would say. So again, that kind of limits your how close you can get to the center, especially if there's lots of things in the way of the rear view mirror. But that's pretty much it. So I do have this camera in another car, and it's a pretty decent budget camera for £100. You can't really complain. The only thing I would say is the rear camera is not great quality, but the front camera is certainly nice and sharp. Decent low light quality, not amazing by any means, but decent low light quality. So let's just have another look at the camera. So it feels reasonably well made. I say the rear camera feels pretty light and cheap in my opinion, but it does a decent enough job for the rear window. But the front camera is a decent quality. I think for around £100 it's good value for money. So hopefully that video helps you. So again, I just say when you position this, just bear in mind that these do stick out to roughly an inch, so you do have to kind of find the right position before you stick it to your windscreen, as you only get one go, or two goes I should say, because you've got two sets of stickies. So that's it. Thank you for watching.